The latest Blackhawks news from practice, plus Steve Peters talks about Connor Bedard and his evolution. Next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hope you're having a great Tuesday here in the best city in the world. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Mario Tirabassi. Thanks for being with us. Do us a favor. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. If you're listening on the podcast later on, we appreciate you. Like or subscribe there. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Again, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We got some news from practice. We're going to talk to Petey at 3 o'clock. He's going to do some breakdown on Connor Bedard's evolution this year and some interesting facts about the Blackhawks when it comes to the Thanksgiving standings. But Mario was at practice today. What do we see? What do we learn?
Andre Burakovsky was a full participant, so that was good to see.
Good sign.
He was in all the 5-on-5 drills. He was in the power play drills, all in the normal spot that we've seen him in. So sounds like tomorrow is still up in the air. Jeff Blashill said that even though Burakovsky's progressing well, they'll kind of get more of a sense of where he's at tomorrow. We'll see what goes on with Maurice Skate. But at this moment, he kind of said that he's a game time decision. He never officially went into any kind of he's on IR or he's in protocol.
Yeah, they never said that.
Wasn't officially placed on the injury report or anything like that. So the fact that he's come back to the ice so quickly and that he's going through practice, like that's a good sign, I would say. I think, I saw some people like, oh, are they rushing him back? I feel like if the player says he's good to go, if he's medically cleared to go and can handle it, then I'd say there's no reason to not have him be available as soon as he feels like he's ready to go.
I know that athletes are always put, and I will say, just in credit to coaches and organizations in general, I think it's better now than it's ever been. But players are somewhat urged to, compete when they're a little bit banged up. However, I think when it comes to head injuries, teams have gotten really smart. Teams have gotten really alert about it. Yeah. And again, just to reiterate, we have not been told it was a concussion. We were never told he was on a concussion protocol, nothing like that. So it could have been like we talked about the other night, a stinger in his shoulder. It could have been a sore neck. It could have been a lot of things as a result of that hit. But the fact that he's even an option for tomorrow, if I'd have told you he's only going to miss 2 games, maybe 3, after seeing that hit, you'd feel pretty good about that. So that's great news.
I would have been surprised that was the case. But yeah, so it's good to see him back out there. We also saw Laurent Brossoit not going through drills in practice, but before practice was on the ice taking shots and was working out on his own on the other sheet of ice during practice today. So that's a good sign for him. We've had like zero time to get to know Laurent Brossoit at all. Ben Pope published today his interview with him, and even though Brossoit was signed last July, 2 Julys ago, Ben, I was talking with him today. He was like, I had to introduce myself and be like, I'm Ben Pope. And, even though he's been around for that long.
I feel like yesterday was the first time I saw him in the locker room ever.
Yeah, seeing him in the locker room today.
Huge dude.
Fully geared up. I was like, man, like I've just forgot how big he is.
Yeah, he is a large human being.
Compared to, Spencer Knight, who's, he's tall, but he's not, big, wide guy. Brossoit's like like 220.
Yeah, he's a thick boy.
He's big. He's a big guy.
So he yesterday, I was at practice yesterday. Mario took the day off, well deserved.
Tag team.
Yeah, exactly. Brossoit did actually participate in the last drill of the day. They took the 2 nets, put them on the short boards in the offensive zone, and he was the goalie for one of those drills. He gave up a ton of goals, but I think it's the first time he had game action.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but he was dropping down, getting across, post to post. He still is a ways away, but I think that was the first. I think that's what he said to Ben Pope today. Was basically that was like the first participation he had in like an actual practice drill in 2 years
since he got
injured.
Yeah.
So good for him. And if I don't want to spoil Ben Pope's thing, but he kind of discovered through his rehabilitation process, like, wait a minute, maybe this is the situation, and it was, and he said he's starting to feel good again. So Ben Pope, I think, used the term a few weeks away for Laurent Brossoit.
I don't think we're talking about seeing him before Christmas or anything.
I wouldn't think
that.
so. And look, there's no need to rush it.
No.
Yeah.
You're not in a situation where you're desperate for someone to play goalie and be available or anything like that. Like you're very content, I would say, with Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom, how they've played. And even, down the line in Rockford, Drew Comezzo, I think, has been, where you would want him to be. Stanislav Berezhnoy has also been, I think no one really knew what to expect.
Right.
And I think he's been kind of a pleasant surprise. So as far as like the depth of the goaltending position, you're not too concerned about it at this moment, I wouldn't say. But once Brossoit is able to go, it's going to be a fascinating situation to see how they handle that, because no team wants to carry 3 goalies in the NHL.
No.
And who do you send down? Are you going to say Soderblom? I don't think he's worth going down. Is Brossoit going to take starts away from Comezzo? Like, that seems like that's probably what's going to happen. But Brossoit is not here to be an AHL guy, and I think the way he was playing before he got hurt, he was considered one of the best backups in the league, and had a over 900 save percentage and a 2-point-something goals against. Like, he was coming in, and with Mrazek being like, oh, that's going to be a good 1-2 tandem. So I don't know where he goes.
Yeah, I think
you look around the league, there's teams that need goaltending.
There are.
It's interesting.
I think that what I would predict was he'll get some rehab starts in Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
And does that suck for Drew Comezzo? Yes, but let's be real. What matters is the NHL team. And I think they'll find an opportunity for him elsewhere. And what Brossoit said to Ben Pope was basically like, look, I get it. Like, because of my injury, they've had to sort of shift gears. They've had to refocus things, redraft people, that sort of things. So he understands. He's like, as long as I can play in the NHL, I'm going to call that a win. So I would imagine a couple rehab starts, see how he looks. Maybe they give him a start or 2 at the NHL level, and then just move him out for. I mean, the Hawks will eat as much of that deal as they can. They don't care. It's just they're not in any cap trouble at all. So they can.
His cap? I haven't even thought about it.
His cap hit is 5 or 4. It's
look.
been so long since I
have not thought about it since.
But I will just tell Hawks fans, like, temper your expectations. If you're going to get anything for Laurent Brossoit,
thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be like future considerations, or you're basically just asking someone to take him off your roster for you.
Yeah, conversation today. About that with, I was talking with Ben and Mark Lazarus and Greg today, and kind of just spitballing a little bit about that situation. And I mean, there are teams that need goaltending help. Winnipeg just lost Hellebuck for, a couple of weeks. I know that's Brossoit's team he just came from, but crazier things have happened. Edmonton, their former team of Brossoit's in his career, they need goaltending help. Like, Vancouver, I think Kevin Lankinen's going to be out for a bit. So you never know. There are teams that would benefit from a goaltender. And as you look at trade lists now, Jordan Binnington seems to be on a lot of them. So I think there will be a market out there, but it definitely comes down to what you see from him when he gets back on the ice. They're not just going to go off of, Laurent Brossoit, I remember him from a few years ago.
Yeah. You may remember me from goaltending 3 years ago.
Yeah, right. Like, they're going to need to know what he can do right now given the injuries and stuff. But it'll be interesting to see how the Hawks navigate it. Maybe they do carry 3 NHL goalies for a bit to give him some of that work when the time comes. But that's, again, weeks down the road.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation to navigate, but at least, I mean, Brossoit seems to get it, and he's going to be patient about it, and he's going to be a professional about it. Yeah. And I'm confident that Kyle Davidson is probably already thinking about, okay, if he comes back and he looks like an NHL goalie again, who am I calling? He's probably got some people asking already because they saw him on the ice. And, look, if you're a team looking to add goaltending and you don't have a lot of cap space, that could be a high reward, low risk kind of a trade. And if it doesn't work out, okay, you can move on and try somebody else, right? Like you could just waive them and do all the things you need to do and it'll take care of itself. So I think that there are some teams probably looking and saying it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and as Joshua Herman 6759 says in the chat, like, what happens if he comes in and plays better than Arvid? Well, then Arvid's a guy that you look at and say, well, hey, he's a fine backup. But if Brossoit comes in and plays better than fine backup level, then you say, well, okay, like, are as we talk about, like, the NHL team matters and they're trying to, put together like wins and push here. If Brossoit shows you that he's a better option to do that,
if that's the case, I just keep him in the organization because my fear would be, oh wow, he looks great. Let's trade Arvid Soderblom, and then Brossoit gets hurt again. And honestly,
if that happens,
before this injury, he's had a bit of an injury history.
Yes,
that was a concern coming in, and probably why he was never a team's full-time starter. So I'd be a little bit hesitant to say this guy hasn't played in 2+ years. He's put together 5 good starts, and I'm not going to move on from Soderblom, and now he's hurt again.
You'd want it to be a bigger sample size than that, is what I would say.
Yeah, I just wonder when he comes back, rehab starts.
Yeah.
How many NHL starts are you going to get? Like, how much time do you have before the deadline? Plus, you got the All-Star break in there. You're only going to your opportunity is only going to be a handful of games for him. I think 5 NHL games to me seems like a massive over.
If it's like January that he comes back, then you're only talking about so many games. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's an interesting scenario that they find themselves in. But I mean, this is his last year under contract. Soderblom's got this year and next as well. So we'll see.
History Racer says you could trade Arvid. Comesso comes up and Laurent goes to the AHL for a while. I wouldn't hate that. I know there's the idea of, well, you want Drew Comesso to get every start. Drew Comesso has been Rockford's starter for a while now.
2 years. Yeah.
I feel like we don't have to worry about getting all these starts. Like if you were ready to say, even if we take Brossoit out of the picture, and some team comes calling to you and says, hey, we really want Arvid. We are desperate for goaltending. We're going to give you a better than average asset for Arvid Soderblom. I think they'd be pretty comfortable at this point having Comesso come up and back up. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think you'd be okay to say, okay, this is now the time that we're going to give Drew this opportunity. If you get to that point, I would feel fine with it. Here's what Comesso's done in his 2 and change seasons in the AHL with Rockford. 38 games played as a rookie, 18, 6, and 4, 906 save percentage and a 265 goals against. He also had a 915 save percentage in 3 playoff games that season. Last year, 39 games played. He went 18, 15, and 4, a 911 save percentage with a 254 goals against. He also had a 926 save percentage in 7 games played in the playoffs last year. This year, he's got 12 starts. He's 5-5-2 with a 919 save percentage and a 2.44 goals against. He's gotten better every year.
Yeah.
He's done well in the playoffs. Like,
I'm comfortable. And look, I think, too, Soderblom is signed this year and next for 2.75. If someone comes calling, I'm comfortable with Comesso as the backup. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a slight drop-off. But at some point, I don't think you're going to go Spencer Knight to Drew Commesso and have Drew Commesso spend the next 5 years in Rockford. Like if you have plans for Commesso in this organization, it's as a backup.
Yeah, right now.
I mean,
when Spencer Knight got here, then yeah,
right.
Your franchise starter is there.
Correct.
So yeah, if you're going to give Commesso an opportunity, it's going to be behind him. You're right. Yeah.
So if someone comes calling for Soderblom and it's enticing, maybe it's part of a bigger deal, whatever, I'm totally comfortable with Commesso getting the chance. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He might even get a look this year if someone goes down, God forbid, with an injury. All right, we got to hit the break zone. Make sure you do us a favor. Hit that like button. Only 40 likes. That's not right. That's not enough. Nearly enough. So hit that like button for us. We'll talk to you in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks.
Hey, do you like betting on football? Well,
Yes.
If you do, check out our friends at Bet365. Their early payout offer makes you a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. And when you do that, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So if you want the Bears to win and think they're going to do it,
they will.
And they go up by 17,
they won't.
Boom. Right into your pocket. Those bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary from Bet365. Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Offer in-app only.
See those sick-looking boots behind us? Those are from our friends at Brunt.
Sick boots.
They are awesome, and their best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof. So whether it's rain, mud, standing water, your feet stay dry. Brunt isn't just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs, from heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. We need these at the office all the time. I always have heavy-duty pants on when I podcast. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep her protected and productive in any condition. All of Brunt's boots carry the names of real workers in the trades who test and inspire them. And with temps dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get them something built to last. Brunt workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com. Code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show.
Hello.
All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and we want to tell you, our diehards, that if you are a diehard right now, our Black Friday sale is live for you. Early access, 30% off everything, up to 90% off everything else in store. You want to get yourself that sick Cy Cease shirt, just in case the Cubs make a transaction?
It could happen.
It's only $5 in the store right now. If you're a diehard, go to store.allcitynetwork.com. The code will automatically plug in when you check out. So make sure you're signed into your diehard account, and it will apply that discount automatically. If you're not a diehard, it's coming.
You're going to have to wait.
But you can also take advantage of our diehard sale right now, still ongoing, $36 for the year. So if you want early access to Black Friday and the $36 sale, boom, you're getting the free shirt for signing up. Then you're getting the savings on Black Friday. Call that winning.
Yeah, it sounds like a good deal.
It's a great deal.
Lots of percentages off.
Yes, that's many percentages off.
For all the access and all the discounts and all the great merch.
Yeah, so jump on that. allchgo.com/join. Use our code HAWKS for the $36 membership. Then you're a diehard. Make sure you're signed in. That promo code applies automatically in your cart. And if you're a diehard, check your email for more details on the diehard sale. But everybody else, Black Friday sale is coming for you very, very soon. Before we get to Petey, who's going to join us in about 10 minutes, I had finally some time to watch the next installment of the Blackhawks videos. This one, they had the originals, and now it's the Madhouse was the latest one.
Yes.
I got to say, I have had trouble articulating the atmosphere of the Chicago Stadium. It's very hard to tell people, oh man, it's really loud, and oh man, the organ, and you just had to be there. You had to be there. I think they did as good of a job as they possibly could have of relaying and showing the atmosphere of Chicago Stadium. I think they did a dynamite job with this. The originals was cool because I learned a lot, but I think one of the biggest challenges they had was how do we demonstrate how great of a building the Chicago Stadium was? Yeah. Well, hold on. It was actually a crappy building. But the experience inside of said building was unbeatable, and I think they did a great job. If you haven't seen it, go to the Hawks YouTube page and check it out. It's about, what, 25 minutes or so?
It's 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was excellent. They did a really good job.
It was the presentation of it was really well done, and just like the things that they got into. I, as someone who did not experience a game at the Chicago Stadium, I just missed it. I learned a lot, and I feel like the footage that they used, just kind of the stories that they had people tell from former players, the people who had gone to games as fans and stuff, like it was really a really cool display of what the feeling was, what the emotion was, what the energy level was. And yeah, I mean, I think for me, like I learned about, the construction of the organ, and I guess in my brain just did not know how organs worked, keys playing organs. I paid attention in science class, but just how, like, I thought the pipe were just like up and out and they just, made the sounds across the thing. I didn't know that they were piped through the building. Yeah. So that's why literally when it says like the building would shake when it would play, it was because the pipes were everywhere reverberating under your feet.
See, I hadn't known that either.
Yeah.
And I thought it was because you can see, if you look at the organ, there were pipes.
Yeah, for
sure.
Like,
okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
But we called my daughter down to watch it because we're like, we want you to understand this. Like, she's starting to get into the Hawks. She's, Boyquarium, all that stuff.
Sure.
So she's getting into it. And I tried to explain to her, like, when they would hit like a lower, bassier note on the organ, you would feel it in your chest.
It's like being at a concert next to the speakers.
But he would Frank Pellico would always play dun, 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 dun. Is it no, it's not Eye of the Tiger. What? From Rocky, what is that song? Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, getting strong now or whatever it is. When he would go those last two notes, your insides would rattle. It was just like the strongest feeling, and you could see like dust off the ceiling. And they said in a documentary that if they had turned that up all the way, like all the windows in the building would shatter.
Oh,
it had that much power to it.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. The other thing I didn't know is if you're ever in like the South Loop area, Roosevelt and Blue Island, which is the campus of St. Ignatius College Prep, the facade of the, the ancient athletes or whatever that used to be up on the side of the building is now there on a wall.
Yeah, the
you can like walk up to it and touch it. I drive by that almost every day. Gonna Fly Now. Thank you, Corey. That's the name of the song.
There you go.
You can walk up and touch that. It's still there. They maintain that from Chicago Stadium and put it up at St. Ignatius. So if you're ever there, it's the corner of Roosevelt and Blue Island. It's right there. So I'm definitely gonna, next time I'm right there, I'm gonna get out of the car and go take a picture and touch the thing.
When they opened the documentary with that shot, and I was, for a second, I was kind of like, wait, are they saying that it still stands somewhere? Like, I'm like, no, that thing was, demolished and everything. But yeah, it was really cool to see that shot, and yeah, just hearing just the stories of it. They show Stan Mikita, obviously back when he was alive. They show him seeing the video footage of his 500th goal, which he says in the clip, he's just like, I've never seen this. And it's just like, it's like seeing that moment, back from the 70s, and they show they show Bobby Hull, and just, hearing from those guys and hearing from, Roenick and we had Tony Granato on a couple shows ago talking about Chicago Stadium and how
his first game,
that emotion and the crowd and the steps up and down to the stadium, like just a very unique experience. And yeah, the documentary I think does a really good job of conveying that as best as possible.
And Eddie O narrates a part of it. They had Dale Talon narrate a part of it because El Melgar, the organist, got a letter from the league saying stop playing Three Blind Mice when the referees make a bad call. He got like a written letter.
Back in the
NHL.
40s, yeah.
And who was telling? Was it Savard? I think Savard was telling a story of trying to talk to Steve Larmer during the anthem.
Yeah.
And Larmer's like, what? I can't hear a word you're saying. And he's right next to him. I both of these have been really good because the originals one, if you missed that one, was all about, because I was like, okay, this is going to feature old players.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, Mush March and all those guys, and I'll learn about those guys. No, it was about all the innovations that Blackhawks players in the organization have made over the years, from the goal horn to the hat trick to the curve stick to the goalie mask to butterfly goaltending, all the things that Blackhawks innovated. That was the originals. And I love that because I learned a ton from something I thought I knew a lot about in the Madhouse and about Chicago Stadium. A ton I learned. It was really good. Definitely worth your time. So check that out on YouTube if you haven't yet. And I think it's cool that they're getting, former, Eddie O and Dale Talon. They're bringing all these people back to contribute to this thing. It's really well done. I've been really impressed with really the way they've rolled out this entire centennial celebration.
Yeah, it's been done really well, and through the first two documentary chapters that they've done for what we've been talking about here, like really well done. I've learned a lot in both of them already. Makes me even more excited for the next one coming up, the Banner Years, which I think is something a lot of people can kind of relate to, and the modern dynasty and everything. I'm looking forward because that's, early 2000s to now, the Banner Years is like when my peak of everything happened. Yeah. With, fandom and following the Hawks and everything. So I'm looking forward to learning new things about what was so far my favorite time of being a Hawk.
I saw
Hawk fan.
I saw Andrew Ladd was on the Chicklets podcast today, and they sent a couple. I don't know if it was today, but they put up a couple videos out. I learned a couple new things about the Dynasty Blackhawks. That Dustin Blufflin was bringing blow darts to parties, and it's like just hitting people with blow darts at the party.
Sure.
And
I believe you.
And they came to a game, and Joel Quenneville had hit a trifecta for the Preakness. So as players were arriving, Joel Quenneville was running around the locker room screaming in joy because he won like hundreds of thousands of dollars on the Preakness. Wow. So Andrew Ladd, that's the guy I used to do a couple of the on the glass things with him back at the Score, and he was a little more reserved back then, but he looks like he's in storyteller mode. So maybe we should track down Andrew Ladd. That's a guy I would love to talk to.
He'd be a guy to chat with,
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that. And what's cool about the next era is these guys are still around to tell it. Yes. And they're going to be a little bit less guarded, and they're going to tell some stories that we have never heard before. So I'm really looking forward to it. But props to the Hawks. They've done a really good job putting all of this together. And one thing I noticed, too, at the last game was for the anthem, they kind of made the scoreboard look different. They made the flag look digitized almost.
Yeah, so they did like they did for Chelios night, where they changed the scoreboard to make it look like the old light bulbs. They did that for the anthem. I was wondering, are they going to do it for the whole game? But they just did it for the anthem. And they rolled old clips of the crowd from the the 80s and 90s at the old Chicago Stadium during the anthem. It's a cool way that they've done it so far. I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of roll out this chapter. Yeah,
it'll be great. All right, Steve Peters, our pal Petey, is standing by. Stick around. Make sure you hit that like button for us. Back in 2 minutes with Petey on CHGO Blackhawks.
Athletes, here's a question for you. Are you serious about leveling up your game? If the answer is yes, the right coach can change everything, and now finding the right one is easy with Eye on the Ball. It doesn't matter if you're a kid just starting out or competing at the top levels. You can sign up totally free at eyeontheball.net. You create a profile and search through coaches in your sport and connect directly with the one that's right for you, whether it's soccer or swimming, basketball or baseball, football or hockey, you name it. The coaches are out there waiting to help you take your game to the next level. So what are you waiting for? Your future coach could be one click away. Jump on today at eyeontheball.net. That's eyeontheball.net. Find your coach and take your game to the next level. And coaches, they got a great offer going for you right now. You can get your first 6 months free at eyeontheball.net when you sign up. Try it out and try and grow your coaching profile and find the athlete that you're going to take to the Hall of Fame.
And fall always feels like a reset between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days. So finding time to cook can be tough. That's why I love and we love Factor. Their chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comfortable and delicious no matter how hectic your life gets. They've got a ton of variety. They've got premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. And for the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. And for more choices to better nutrition, they've got 97% of customers saying that Factor helped them live a healthier life. So feel the difference no matter your routine. We got our box last week. It's gone. They're that good. Eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off and use code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And we're back with our buddy Steve Peters from Inside the Coach's Room on YouTube and ESPN. Hello, my friend.
How are you guys doing today? It's nice to finally be here on CHGO.
I know we have been pushing you down the road. We had Tony Granato bully himself onto the show.
Great.
So we had to cancel you. And I texted you. I said, unless Wayne Gretzky is sitting in that third chair, we are not canceling you today. Yeah. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being with us. And you know, it's Thanksgiving week. We're thankful for everything you do for us, Petey.
It's great. I think this is a good week to come on because you talk about Thanksgiving, and I think it's a good week for a Chicago Blackhawk fan to go back, even though you're not in a playoff spot today, but to say you're thankful for meaningful games, thankful for competing, thankful for beating teams that you didn't beat a year ago. There's so many things going right for the Chicago team right now.
Well, let's start with the biggest thing going right, and that's Connor Bedard. Yeah, he has had a tremendous start to the season, and I know there's some people, the last 3 games the Hawks have played have left kind of a bad taste in their mouth. You had a late collapse against Seattle. You got your ass kicked by Buffalo, and a competitive but a 1-0 loss to Colorado. But I saw our buddy Charlie Meliodas ran the numbers when Bedard was matched up against Nathan MacKinnon. The Hawks had a pretty decent advantage, and Bedard not only held his own, but probably outplayed MacKinnon when they were matched up with one another. So let's start with Connor Bedard and his great start to the year. What have you seen from Connor, and what do you attribute his ascension to?
The way he's grown up. And I think the biggest thing with Connor Bedard, I think the expectations for Connor Bedard have always been so difficultly high to achieve because of his reputation preceded him, and he's going to change the face of the game, and he's the guy. And that's hard to do. He's 20. Like, he's a 20-year-old kid, and he needed to grow into his body and needed to get some confidence. And now you're seeing the things that are making him better. One is he is being bigger and stronger, and he's playing stronger. Now, is he a big bully? No. Is he a guy that's going to put someone through into Section J? No. But he is stronger on the puck than he was a year ago. And one thing you don't get better at, you talk about, this guy needs to be a better skater. He needs to be a better skater. Now, Connor Bedard has never been the fastest guy on the ice. That's not his forte. You want that, go to see Frank Nazar and watch him bust up the ice. Bedard is quick, and he makes quick little moves, but he was never extremely fast. But his skating over the summer has improved leaps and bounds, like more than you normally see a young player increase his speed and increase his skating ability. It's something he worked at incredibly hard over the summer, and it's showing right now. And those two things, the strength and the skating ability, are the two things that I think skill-wise have allowed him to put up the kind of numbers that he's putting up.
Well, we know you've put together a little bit of a breakdown. Do you want to get to that now, or do you want to add a little bit of context first?
I do, but before we play, Jay, I will say this. We've done this before. This is hard because we're doing this cold, and this is through the interweb. So I'm going to try to voice over my own video that you guys are playing from Chicago, and we can't show videos, so hopefully these still pictures give an idea of what Connor Bedard does well from last year, this year, and what he's improved on to make him be the player that he is right now, and in his great breakout season. So if we want to get to the tape, get some coffee because it's going to be a while.
All right, hit it.
We talk about him. This is something that bothers me, and it's still in his game, is these little backhand turnovers. These drive me nuts when he's got opportunities to make plays and he throws pucks away on these little soft backhands. Those he still has to get out of the game because that created a scoring opportunity against. Or stick handling into 3 or 4 players. Sometimes you just can't do that. You got to make the simple play and dump it in instead of turning the puck over. Those are things that he still has to continue to get better at. But you talk about his vision. This skill is something from last year, this year. He has got incredible vision. His ability to see players through seams, through sticks, not only see them, but deliver the puck to areas like this in front of the net makes him one of the most dangerous passers in the league. Again, checking his shoulder, seeing Dickinson trying to get to the middle of the ice, but not only seeing the play, holding the puck long enough till that opens up, deliver it to Dickinson, and another goal. Again, that vision away from the puck. He finds these seams, he sees players that are open, and he pulls all the Bruins to him, and he's able to make this play, and again, ends up in the back of the Bruins net. The vision is elite. And his ability to make plays through sticks, over sticks, through bodies. This year, last year, that is going to continue to be one of his strengths. Secondarily is the shot. Like a shot, this is last season. A shot from here, it's not supposed to go in, but it does for Bedard. His shot, his delivery, his ability to make these tight angle shots and make things happen from these tight areas are elite. Here's a one-time shot. His shot is fantastic. And for a guy his size, his ability to pull the puck in, use the toe drag, and then change the angle of the puck. This puck is in front of his body. To be able to get enough leverage onto this puck and still find the back of the net is absolutely an elite skill. So the shot, that's last year, this is this year. It's the same thing. He's picking spots, he's shooting the puck more often, he's able to find areas of the ice where he's able to get that one-timer off and be able to beat goaltenders clean with that shot. And here's another one this season where the puck's across his body in front of him, and he's still able to dig this out, get enough momentum, and shoot. This is another problem from last year that he's been able to overcome. Last year was too easy to get pushed off the puck. Again, we talk about his smaller frame, and here he is against the Jets. He's got the puck. He gets pushed up. The puck's going back the other way. And his ability to not be able to beat people off of the rush, same thing off of the rush. He gets pushed off the puck, and Calgary's going back the other way. And he's eventually pushed down to the ice here. You see it again where he's trying to go through people. And again, he's physically just not strong enough to win these battles. He gets pushed off the puck again against the Minnesota Wild. But that has changed. You see, last time he gets pushed off the puck by the Winnipeg Jets again. He's thrown around a lot. This year he can go into those corner battles. So there's a one-on-one 50-50 battle, and he comes out with the puck. That's something he didn't do a season ago. This is something he did this year where it's a one-on-one with the defenseman, and he's beating with speed. He chips to himself, he gets the puck around him, and he's able to get the puck on the other side, not only beat the defenseman one-on-one with his speed, but then make another play to the middle of the ice, win another race and another battle, and getting the puck to the front of the net. Here's another foot race. This is what started off his hat trick the other night against Calgary. It was just a simple foot race, and I know it doesn't look like much, but he's not pushed off the puck, and he wins the foot race. His ability to win these races between the blue lines is something that wasn't in his bailiwick last season. He's getting those pucks. He's able to beat these defenders one-on-one, and he's able to deliver the puck. And again, another great pass. This is something that's interesting. He's the first forward on the neutral zone forecheck often. This is F1, means the first guy up. He's got a really good stick, and he's separating the puck from the opponent's defenseman frequently, where he's able to use his stick, good stick, and go back the other way. That takes speed, it takes skill, and it takes a good stick. And he's doing that inside the defensive zone as well, where he uses that stick and gets the puck going back the other way. And we talk about his quick foot speed. This is his ability to keep the puck, change his direction, and use his speed and quickness, and then deliver that pass through a seam. And we see this a lot this season where he's one-on-one with a player. And again, this is a quick move to the outside, wins with speed, sees the vision, delivers that puck to the blue paint. Again, beats this player one-on-one, quick change of direction, quick speed, delivers the puck to the blue paint. And this is everything. This is against the Ottawa Senators. Uses his speed through the neutral zone where he's able to get his feet moving between the blue line. Great fake, and using his hands at the red line. Gets to the blue line, protects the puck. He battles and wins the one-on-one battle at the blue line. And then we talk about that shot, and then he pulls the shot into his feet. Strange angle between the legs for a goal where he wraps all of those skills together into one amazing play versus the Ottawa Senators. And those are the little details that have made Connor Bedard a better player this season than he was last year.
That's phenomenal stuff. More impressive than Bedard's evolution is your ability to do that live.
I tell you what, Jay, you know what's so fun about these things? It's because I sit there and I went on What Chaos, and I know everybody that listens said I was talking about Celebrini, but the truth is, until you go and watch, and I challenge this on fans and media people and even people inside the game, until you really watch, and I mean really watch, you don't appreciate some of the things that these players and teams are doing. And Connor Bedard right now is doing things differently than he was a season ago. He's stronger on the puck, and he's skating with a much more of a pace than he did last season. And those things have doubled his point output through 22 games.
Well, one thing I want to ask you about too, and as a former goalie yourself and as a former goalie coach, we have seen so many times where Connor Bedard gets one of those great shots off and it hits like the knob of the stick or it hits like the edge of the blocker. Is that just bad luck? Is that goaltender scout? How, because I feel like you could go back to all three of his years and probably add 3 or 4 goals that how in the hell did that hit a handle or you know what I mean? Like he's had bad luck, believe it or not, with some of these shots.
Yeah, and it is. Goaltenders are going to tell you that's skill because my body's moving that way and the stick is an extension of my body. That's what goalies are going to say. The reality is when it goes off your knob, whew, you got lucky on that one. It's just the reality, but it shows again his ability to throw that puck across the body of the goaltender and find those small spaces, and he's able to beat those goalies clean from areas where guys can't beat goalies clean. There's very few guys in the league that can shoot and beat a goalie clean from the areas where Connor Bedard can. Very few. I mean, it's a list of 10 guys or less that can shoot like Connor Bedard. It's an exceptional skill, and I go back to his size, and you look at some of the bigger body guys that can fire the puck. He's not a huge guy, so him to be able to get that. Look at Dylan Guenther in Utah. Very similar in their ability to get these shots off and beat goaltenders clean with a little bit of more of a slender body build than some of the other guys in the league. And I think those two guys right now are the most dynamic shooters in the National Hockey League for their size.
How much? I know a lot of what Bedard has been doing can be brought to like his individual work, his individual efforts, but how much does the team trying to improve around him help some of these things? Where instead of trying to find guys with those seam passes, instead of it being Buddy Robinson and trying to think of some other Hawks of the last few years. Jujhar Khaira, yeah. Instead of it being those guys, it's guys like Bertuzzi and Burakovsky and Frank Nazar. Like, how much does that play into a factor that these individual things he's doing better are also being, more light is being shined on it because the result you're hoping for is actually happening?
I think a little bit of both. And I think when you're talking about, I said that he needs other players to make him the successful player he is. And I mean that because he's a playmaker. And so you need people to score. You need people to be able to put the puck in from those areas where he is able to deliver the puck. And that is happening at a higher pace this season. And I think when you look at this Blackhawk team, they're just happier playing hockey, because they're competing and they're in games. And when you have the confidence to be in games and you think you actually have a chance to win, you play better. And I think what Blashill has done, he's given them the confidence at the defensive end of the rink that's saying, okay, we can defend a little bit better, which gives us freedom to do things we want to do in the offensive zone. And one thing Bedard has done, not only delivering those pucks to players that are putting the puck in the net, but he's shooting the puck more. He's shooting the puck more. And again, that's confidence. You go through 22 games last season and he had 57 shots. This year he has 72. That's 15 more shots. It's almost just under a shot more per game. Over the season, that's going to add up. I do think he's got more of an onus this year that he's going to be shoot first at times. He still does make those amazing passes. He really does. And that's what separates him. But he is getting an opportunity to shoot more. So this team's play and playing better and playing better offensively has absolutely helped him. But is he the one that's helping his team achieve those goals? It's kind of a nice little circle that his help has made the offensive better, and the better offensive has allowed him to get more points.
I mean, he was described to us as we were scouting him before the 2023 draft as a sniper version of Patrick Kane. I believe that was Cam Robinson of Elite Prospects words. I think we're finally seeing that now. Yeah. That it's into year 3 that we're seeing him be able to make those types of plays, makes those types of passes that Patrick Kane in his prime when he was here had the ability to do. But then, as you described in the video, like the ability for him to shoot the puck the way he does is very unique in this league.
Yeah, and one of the things against a team like the Chicago Blackhawks that is difficult to do when you've had a team that has players like Taves and Kane and Seabrook and Keith and the guys that have had the success and everybody knows those names that hoisted cups, it's hard to be compared against those guys. And Bedard had that moniker on him before he even put on the sweater. So that is tough to achieve. Petey Kane's one of the best players to ever play in this league. He's one of the best American-born players ever. And it's hard to achieve those things. And until Connor Bedard gets lucky enough to hoist a cup and skate it around in Chicago, those comparisons are going to continue. And I think that this season is another step towards what Blackhawk fans want, and that's to be competitive for another Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, it's not this year. And I know we talked about it, Jay. It's not going to be this year. But they're getting better. They're getting better.
Yeah. Let's gotta hit the break zone one more time. We are full on ads today. We'll be back with more with Petey next on CHGO Blackhawks, presented by Bet365.
New vehicles are in store at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Black Friday sales event. Head to Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventories of, you guessed it, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ramses vehicles. And right now you can get 0% financing for 60 months on all new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L models or up to $10,000 off MSRP. Plus, you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With the friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is here to help you during every step of your car shopping journey. And since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for the vehicle that you need. So go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories, find the right new vehicle for you, and drive home happy. Don't miss out on their Black Friday sales event for huge savings on new models. For more information, visit Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963.
And it's been awesome at the United Center all season. And if you want to get in to see some of these upcoming Hawks games, the Blackout games this weekend, Game Time is the place to go. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to you, the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing deals and experiences in a few taps. It's super easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you're going to get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Fees are always included, so there's no surprises at checkout. You know, it says $55. It's $55 when I hit that purchase button, and that's it. That's great. It's really a key feature of Game Time, as well as reviews from your seat. So if you're going to a concert, am I behind the stage for Paul McCartney tonight? Maybe I don't want to drop that money. Check it out at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Tap Ticket Go. Download the Game Time app today. All right, we are back with Petey. A couple questions in the chat here. I want to get your take on this. Reven, who's with us pretty much every show, says, let's be honest, guys, we aren't going to be cup contenders for a long time, if ever. Looking at what you know about the Blackhawks with the evolution of Bedard, Nazar, Levshinov, and Renzel, who you did a great feature on last year, and how impressed you are with them, with Spencer Knight, and all these prospects coming up, how far away do you think the Hawks are from, a deep run in the playoffs, and do you think they are on the path to eventual championships?
Yeah, the hardest thing to say is competing for a Stanley Cup. When this season started off, I might have named 4 teams out of the 32 that are really competing. So you're talking about 90% of the league is not at a point where they're competing for a cup. You still might make one of those miracle runs like LA did in 2012 and St. Louis did in 2019. Like, it happens. Do I think Chicago is going to be a playoff team this year? The answer is no. I don't. I think they're better than they were a year ago, and I think next year they will be better. And what gives me that hope for Blackhawk fans is the building blocks that they have. And we talk about the offensive side of the puck. You're seeing Frank Nazar being a big part of their offense this year. Bedard's taken another step. Oliver Moore is introduced as an everyday player. And on the back end, this is what I've said is going to be the difference in this team being a team that will compete for a Stanley Cup, is their youth at the back end. Nobody has this. Nobody has what Chicago has. They might have 1 or 2 guys, but they don't have 5. They don't have 4 or 5 guys that are the age that the Blackhawks guys. This defensive core in Chicago, along with Spencer Knight, if he continues to put up these numbers, this is what's going to separate them and allow this team to be a team that can compete for a Stanley Cup. How far away is that? Is it 3 years? Yeah, I think 3 years is realistic where you go, okay, now this is more of a veteran team. They've got the offense, but it's going to be up to Davidson and the management group and the ownership group to spend some money and get those key pieces, because they can't do it with just their draft picks and who they have in the system. They can't. You're going to have to get those pieces, but you have to get those pieces when you need them. And this isn't the time to get those pieces. It's not going to be this trade deadline. It won't be next year's trade deadline. You're going to have to wait. But I do sincerely think that this is a team that can do that, because it's going to be the teams that have this good young talent. It is going to be San Jose. It's going to be Utah. It's going to be Anaheim, and it's going to be Chicago. Those are the 4 teams when we're talking 3-4 years from now. Those are the teams in the West that I think we're going to be talking more about.
So you're saying 3 years-ish compete for a cup, or you're saying 3 years-ish?
They're competitive. They're competitive.
Okay.
Again, competing for a cup is I don't know if I'd ever see anybody's competing for a cup. Like, that's such a it's a mythos. Like, you just can't achieve that. To be competitive in a playoff run and make it through the first round and be a team that could get to the Western Finals, yeah, that's 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it, and they're ahead of what we expected them to be this year.
Yeah,
and I don't think that necessarily accelerates the total view of the rebuild and cup contendership. I think it accelerates where you expected them to be, and I think it also gives you a lot of hope that the timeline is shrinking. And I think you see what Petey's saying with Oliver Moore and the defensemen, and this still doesn't feel like a fully realized group yet, and it's not. These aren't the guys that everything is on their shoulders. We're still away from Anton Frondel being in North America, let alone the NHL. Yeah. Same thing goes with Roman Kanserov, and this is the first full year of Spencer Knight, who at this time last year we didn't have. Drew Comezzo was the future goaltender. So a lot of things can change, and there's still pieces to add to that puzzle. But I think seeing this evolution of Bedard, as we've talked about, seeing Frank Nazar be where he's at, and a lot of these high round picks that are now getting to the NHL and turning corners in their young careers, that all makes it feel like that light at the end of the tunnel is getting bigger and brighter.
Yeah.
That's how I would perceive it.
Hey, for sure. And I think one of those benchmarks you have to look at, and we talk about how I like to look at numbers, and I know stats don't tell the entire picture, but you go to where this team was last season after 22 games, they had 18 points. Well, this year there's 24, and I know that's only 6 points, but if you extrapolate that over the entire season, that puts them on a pace right now for 89 points. Well, if they can go from 61 points to 80 points, maybe don't even say 89. If this team can get to 80 points in one season, that a 20-point jump is absolutely unheard of. Like, so I would be happy as in management. If I'm crunching numbers, I'm thinking if I can get into the 70s, if we're sniffing around that 75 to 80 point mark, this has been a successful season. Well, right now, because of the start you had, and you went from 27th in goals for to 13th in goals for, 13th goals against to 9th in goals against. Those little incremental wins over time allow you to get where we're saying. If you can get into the 80-point mark for this team that wasn't ready yet, still not ready, but that makes it easier to find those pieces. Do I think Foligno is going to be a part of this when they make a run? No. I don't. Are they going to move past Teravainen by then? Probably are going to have to move by Teravainen. Even Burakovsky, who's playing great right now. You move past them and make them marginally better spots on some of those fill-in positions. Now you're going, okay, that's 2 or 3 different players. And you go, oh my goodness, these 2 or 3 players, yeah, that makes a huge difference. So yeah, I do think that 3-4 year window, and I know that seems like forever ago. The last time this team had 80 points, what was it, 17, 18? Like, it's been a very long time since this team has had 80 points.
18-19 season.
Is it 18-19?
Yeah, that was the year Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, and Alex DeBrincat had their best seasons in their career, and the Hawks missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to
because everybody else was bad.
Who's producing?
And Eric
the show
Gustafson.
today?
And Eric Gustafson has career year.
Our new
Who's
producer
producing?
Chloe, who we poached from Denver, is producing today.
Hi, Petey.
Can I put some pressure on Chloe? Hi, Chloe. I'm
boy.
Oh, gosh.
No, it's easy. I think it's easy, but because I know I took some heat last week from the CHGO faithful. So if we can you give me a one shot? Can you fill the screen to show my new addition to my studio? Is it possible?
Oh, look at that. That was so fast.
Yeah.
Look at Chloe.
I didn't do it.
So I got
Nice.
I felt in retribution. One, I had to make a video, and two, I have purchased, and now I have a Chicago Blackhawks sweater on my wall. So
Is there a name on that one?
there is not, buddy. I'm on I work for ALLCITY. I don't have the budget to get names on the sweater.
Well, you know what? All right. Well,
Wait,
let me
hold on,
ask you this.
Petey. You purchased that? That looks like it's from the 90s.
Yeah.
Where did you purchase that?
I didn't say I purchased it new, but they do have a thing called the internet. It's amazing.
All right, so if you were-
I got my Chicago stuff on the wall, and I do sincerely believe. And you talked about something when this building and that building shakes, and I did this job for a very, very, very long time, and very rarely did the Arizona Coyotes make the playoffs. But I remember when we would have a playoff game in Chicago, and the video room is way back in the bowels underneath the arena on the other side of the hallway, just this tiny little room. But I would always, always, always listen to the national anthem from the players' bench. And there is nothing that can compare to it in the National Hockey League than a national anthem in Chicago. It gives me chills thinking about it. And to think that could return to that building in the next few years is something that sports desperately needs, is to have those moments in a city like Chicago.
Did you ever attend a game at Chicago Stadium?
I never did. No, I started. It was gone by the time I was in the United Center. I never got to be there.
It's still pretty good at the UC. They do a good job. All right. Well, if you were going to get a Blackhawks player's name on your jersey that fell off a truck, what would be the name you'd get on there? Who would be your all-time Blackhawk?
All-time Blackhawk? Well, it's got to be Jeremy Roenick. I mean, JR, because he played for the Coyotes, but he played his best years and his best hockey there. I played college hockey with a guy named Eddie Belfour. We went in as freshmen together. We were both goalies. I think you know how that worked out, not just in college. But
you know what? Let it play out.
Beyond.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I think he's on a pretty good path. So I would be JR, and I think Jonathan Toews is a guy that when I look at a hockey player that I'd want to start and build my franchise around, it's Jonathan Toews. It's a guy that might not be the best hockey player on the ice, but when you combine his will, his desire, his compete along with his skill set, you get Jonathan Toews. And I think he reminds me of the Shane Doan that we had in Arizona. You had your Jonathan Toews. So I think there are plenty to choose from. And again, you got an original 6 sweater. Like, buddy, like how fantastic is that? Legendary logo.
All right. The chat is saying that you've been vindicated.
Oh, thank goodness. I can come back.
You have kissed enough butt. Yeah. You've kissed enough butt to be welcome back on the show. So thank you very much.
Penalty box.
Just real quick before we let you go, we got like a minute left in the show.
Sure.
There's been a lot of discourse about like, well, what the Hawks are doing is not sustainable. If you really dig into the numbers, blah, blah, blah. You've watched a lot of tape on the Hawks this year. Do you think what we're seeing so far is real?
The way they're playing right now, this is a better version of the team a year ago, and I think Blashill has got this team playing better defensively, which makes everything different. Do I think this team is going to make the playoffs? No. Are they going to finish better and considerably better than last year? The answer is yes. And I think Spencer's night numbers are proving that. He's having career numbers right now, and I think if he can continue that consistency through the year, Bedard has shown what he can do defensively. I do think they're going to be blips. I do think you're seeing that with the young Rinzel right now. They're going through those difficult periods. I think the ebb and flow is going to be most noticeable on the defensive side of the puck, but I do think this team is considerably better and in the 70s this year for points, 75 or better.
We'll take that. It's at an 89-point pace. It sounds tough now, but looking back on it to start the season, we all would have been very happy with 75, 80 points. Petey, you're the best. Let's maybe next time we revisit the Levshinov-Rinzel situation now. 6 months later, because there's a lot to talk about with those two. But have a great Thanksgiving. We always appreciate your time and your hard work, buddy. We love you. Take care. Have a great one.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, CHGO.
All right, that is our pal Steve Peters. Petey, follow him on Twitter at @SPetersHockey. And for more great breakdown with video inside the coach's room on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to that.
Yeah.
Do not miss the great content there.
Amazing job. I had a thought, and now it's gone.
All right. Well, we'll find out what that was tomorrow, post-game.
Maybe.
Should be fun. We will be back after tomorrow's game, so make sure you're here with us. Make sure if you've not hit the like button.
At the start of the season, we were saying what Utah was last year and what the Ducks were last year. If the Hawks could be that this year, we'd all be happy. And 89 points is exactly that.
And they're on the path.
Yeah, so I think that was just the last thing I wanted to spew out of my face before we're done.
Sounds good. All right, talk to you tomorrow after Hawks and Wild.
Wild.
Woo! Should be a fun night. Talk to you then on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.